welcome to the stream. My name is Lee. I'm a little bit of a hot mess right now, but it is Greyhawk Day. Also, I don't have any water. I have this, but that's not. It's probably been going too long anyway, so. My name is Lee. Nolan is my big intro, and then. Thank you for reminding me. Reminding me I need to go and put up on here that we're streaming, and so. Um. So, usually on Wednesdays, if you follow the stream, you'll know that on Wednesdays, I do Greyhawk. Okay. So, Wednesday's Greyhawk. So, what I mean by Greyhawk is I usually update the Greyhawk wiki. Now, the way I do this is right name, and here we're gonna go if at the end. Yes, that's the one. Let's see. Dip, bop, boop. Alright. Let's see if, right, like this. Hang on. We're gonna do the thing where, so, a little bit less. Let's see what we can do. Good? Good. Okay. So this is Living and Dying. So, for those of you who don't know, back in, what was it, 2000-ish? It was 20 years ago now because we're old. Wizards of the Coast, bought up TSR. There was no Hasbro, or I don't know if it was at the time, but it is now. Bought out TSR, which was the gaming company founded by Gary Gygax that had traditionally published Dungeons and Dragons. Now, when it did this, TSR was in the middle of making Greyhawk, this If at the Undying setting book. It was all ready to go. They had all of the words, more or less, most of the images. They hadn't quite done the final layout, and they hadn't done the printing, and Wizards of the Coast went back and forth, and after some agreement with various Greyhawk fans, and they basically allowed this version to be published, and so it is considered canon because it was done not as a fan work necessarily, but also, under the guise of the company, and it is pretty cool. The thing about that was, what was I gonna say? Yeah, so If at the Undying, and then, hi, welcome. We have the head of the Great Library of Greyhawk in our chat, which is the Greyhawk Wiki, which also, let's see. So, Greyhawk Wiki being the, let's see, yep, that one. The Greyhawk Wiki is, Greyhawk Online's, wiki, Great Library of Greyhawk, and it is, hang on, I think I have a link. That one. Yes, that's where you can get the wiki. It is a helpful resource if you are trying to play in Greyhawk, or if you want to know more about the setting, which is pretty cool, and if you want a basic rundown on the setting, I'm happy to provide if anyone in the chat doesn't know what Greyhawk is. I'm thinking most of you do, because a lot of people who come to the Greyhawk streams come so because they're Greyhawk streams. It's my most attended stream, fun fact. And what was I going to say? Greyhawk streaming. The other thing I was going to say was, I should probably mention in the Greyhawk chat that I'm going live. But the other thing was, so what we've been doing is the Great Kingdom, and the other stuff in here. We've been specifically focusing on North Province. And right now, and we've been bouncing around a little bit as we try to get into the rhythm and find all of the stuff that hasn't been put in yet. So we've been in the North Province section of the book. I will be there, then I will go to the Greyhawk Wiki, and we will see what we were doing with that. Let's see. Last week we did. Well, there's a net brick. So let's. Here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna go to the North Province section because we definitely have a lot of the NPCs and cities and stuff that haven't been put in yet. So let's. Going through there. That's for East. Urstern, Atir, Bellport, Bilebrine. We did Borten and the trade villages. Um, but I think we got Bilebrine fairly. I mean, I'll go check Bilebrine. That's what we were doing. We're doing Bilebrine, and we were doing. Let me check on that. See if we got everything we need to get there, and then if we don't, um, Loof, Bilebrine. Okay. Oh yes. Then let me open up this. Let's see how it is with that. Not that one. Hmm, that one. Why can't we use that? Thank you. Okay. Now we just do this, and I will be back in a minute. Yes, technical. Turning out to take the little piece. So back. Let me come here. But Addie down. She's a cutie pie. Let me see where we are. Not that one. We are this one and that one. Okay. Yay! It seems like we're gonna work. Oh, Lord. Here. Mm. There we go. Now we just gotta. All right. We're back. Welcome. All right. File Brian. Here we go. Um, this one. Pen page. Okay. Excellent. So, um, 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 mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Wow. Okay. This means that our beloved, let me just check something. Cat who goes under the name, let's see, Abra Sagast. Yes, and is her name on the wiki has been tweaking. Um, okay, a few, that. The question, of whether or not, okay, so, um, oh, and you actually specified the names for the barbarians from the north. Excellent. Um, um, um right. So, I think maybe can put in the people section. Um, um, like prior to the Greyhawk Wars, we put in the travel section about how it used to be, um, maybe a destination, or we'll definitely put the people section. Government, Herald, take out economy. Mm, okay. Um, let's see what we have on the thing and what we can add. And no, okay, no, that's that one. But if here we go, Bile Brine. So this is our paragraphs, and what can we add from here? Um, that's people. Um, yes. Uh, yes. Yes, stay within the confines of the cave. Once explored, mountain need to be safe. Yes. Relevance of the original village. Named from the deep sea caves where the seawater leaches copper salts from the rocks. Shell minerals, given cloud of water. Yes, copper minerals. Um, yes, faked incurable illness and cured by. Um, okay. Um, okay. Curious place indeed. Many of its folks are almost albino, and century of inbreeding has not done the population any favors. Shed even the fee-paying visitors and simply hope the world and its wars will go away and leaves alone to eat kelp, cavefish, and lizard and shellfish, which form the bulk of their diet. Alright, we're gonna put that kind of that in that part in the people section. I think we're gonna peculiar new skills such as weaving heat treated and oiled kelp baskets and crafting spears. That's gonna be an economy. So the ordinary goods are simply unavailable here, so little trade into Biobrine. So we'll put that in the trade. We'll go economy and then trade and then let's see. Turkine give Granada with taxes and ties they can, and hate the barbarians who destroy their lands, since they don't have orcs in their lands, and since the men of those lands are not those who would have to march to war again, being poor fighting men. They tend to favor Grendel's rulership somewhat by default. They believe that any change will probably be for the worse. Okay, so if Grendel became the king of North Kingdom, which I am gathering he did, then they're still paying Grendel tithes and taxes, even though it stopped being a so we can put that in the government section. It's by a young Torcan princeling who's in favor of Grendel, and they don't specify which Torcan princeling, but it's interesting. Be kind of fun to know who's in charge of that. But yeah, we'll keep. Let's see. In which case, economy. Yeah, let's go with look at the article. So why don't we take out most. Yeah, I'm just gonna take out all the people section for tonight. I'm gonna take the people section and just take out all the subsections and just write the paragraph on that. Maybe rumors and legends. I tend to leave these guys in. Just yeah, let's just take the subsections out. What if we? Yeah, let's go to people. We're just gonna take out all the subsections and put the removed subsections. Yes, yes, added notes. Okay, wait. Okay. Or we'll actually add the stuff. It may have linked it. Okay, so the people um of Vilebrine. Let's see how to tend to shun the outside world. Even paying visitors. And keep to themselves. Ignoring the greater political. Around them, this has led to a good deal of inbreeding. There we go. I think that's pretty good. Okay. Boom. Okay, start with that. And then government. Okay, Thorclan princelings, though they don't provide any fighting men or anything, do pay tithes to Grenell, and are generally in favor of, yeah, they generally pay tithes and, okay, yes. Um, um, uh, why don't we put in the, alright, I'm gonna take, that moves that down somewhat. Government, okay, let's see. Um, how to spell Torcan properly. Oh, I should also put this back there, so you can see what I'm doing. Torquan. Is it Tor? Yes, it is Torqua. Torqua. Hang on. Prince. Hope, does Princeling have an E in it? Question is, does Princeling have an E? Because that's not a word recognized by. Uh, it does have an E. Princeling does have an E. Not recognized as a spell check, but it is a word. Who runs the city? Who is in charge? Is taxes and tithes. Grenell. Okay, how does A spell Grenell correctly and B link it, because we're going to put a page on him even if he doesn't have um, Gren ELL. Minor Prince. Oh, okay. Usually uses Princeling. Jerry. Gren. Okay, let me get Grenell's name right. Minor Prince. Okay, I can do it. ELL. Okay. I mean, I use the term princeling because that's the one they use in the book. The minor Torcan prince. Okay. Minor Tor. Who's in charge of town? Pays taxes and. Though he does not provide any military support. Any soldiers? Any soldiers? Uh, boom. Uh, that's true. That's true. There were some, but I don't know. Princeling. Yeah, so you kind of fair. Um. Uh. Okay. Similar dubious treatments. Uh. Yes. Curious place indeed. Okay. Cave fish. Okay. We'll put the trade section that you can't get that in what they eat. That seems like fair. Um, uh, um, okay. That's about it. Let's see. Travel. Let's see. Um, Herald. I'm gonna take heraldry out just because. Um, yeah, I'm just gonna take heraldry out because we don't have any. There's definitely no heraldry. And yes. Oh, yes. Forgot to do our citations. Um, Two. Okay. One draw of the town. Here we go. The water. The town. Mm, mm, Great. Um, Treatments. Okay, let's see some. Let's see. Um, Hydrotherapy. Flagellation with kelp funds and similar treatments. Hydrotherapy. Um, and flagellation with kelp fronds and other um, hydrotherapy. Um, kelp fronds. I'm gonna quote that exactly because um, and similar dubious treatments. Um, yeah, I think. Um, and you put the source inside the let's say source, but it yes. Visitors um, overindulgence, right? Debauchery. That's overindulgence would be the right term for that. Let's see. Um, let's see. Uh, yes. Mm. Uh, Edge. Edge. Okay, let me see if I spelled Edgefield right. Okay, Edgefield. Edgefield. Okay. And we're gonna East Fair. One word. This is East Fair will link. Edgefield not yet, but we will get to that. I think. Uh, the Greyhawk Wars. And Greyhawk Wars does have a page explaining a little bit about the conflict and how. Yes. Okay, and then we'll put target and yes. We'd only probably put it twice, but there's direct quote, so we put it. Yeah, we'd only put it once, but there's direct quote. Okay, so economy, trade. Manufacturing. What do they get? Um. Um. Uh. What do they? Yes. We'll switch up the order. Lizard, shellfish, and kelp, cavefish or shellfish, kelp. Okay. Cave lizards. Okay. Shellfish should not be capitalized. Just random ones. Kelp, cave lizards, and still one. Cave lizards. Cave fish. Okay, lizards and cave fish. Okay. Lizards and cave fish. Um, there we go. Good basic. Alright, so that's about it. Little trade, government, people. Okay, yeah, I think we got that, and then the other ones in case. Okay, um, yep. Okay, there's that. Ink. Yeah. Um, yeah. The trade. Cave lizard is a monster. Yes, cave fish. Yeah, um, cave lizards is, alright, apparently a monster. Good to know. Yes. Alright. I think we got a decent sized chunk on Bile Brine. Alright. And Edgefield is not there yet, but I think it comes along later because it's E and East Road's the big one. Okay, so that, we're gonna clear Bile Brine. Done. Stamp of approval. Okay, next one is, let's see. If I go here and put the PDF back up, and then come here and actually look it up. Let's see. We got Bile Brine. We got Bartend in the trade villages. Then Causeway of the Fiends is a geographical feature. Then you got Chokestone. Not farmed. Great Battle. Okay, so it's kind of a, let's see. Small Flint Tribe, Erde Men. Okay, Iridians. Okay, so Iridians fighting for. Yes, Erde being. Okay, those. The Iridians too late. Yep, okay, I see how that goes. Yep. Um. Oh. Okay. It cracked for brittle paper, releasing clouds of oily, choking smoke. Oh, okay, that's kind of cool. Yes. Uh, okay. Yes. Um, uh, um, okay. Interesting. Um, okay, that's kind of cool. So the Causeways of Fiends is a geographical feature. Um, granite stone slabs, down to the sea from a half mile inland, with the causeway heading to the Isle of the Cursed Souls, or the Isle of Lost Souls, depending on who you ask. Extraordinarily, this causeway is never submerged by the tides, even though the seawater might stand 80 feet or more on either side of it shortly before it rises to the shoreline of the magical isle. The whole causeway radiates intense evil and magic, if such is detected for. Okay. During the fullness of Selene, that's one of the moons, fiends of many kinds stalk the causeway. Uh, Tanari and Bezitu rend at each other, tearing each other apart. They gleefully attack anything foolish enough to approach within half a mile or so of the causeway. It's a demon battle, and if anyone goes near, they get attacked too. Bound to that distance, however, and cannot travel farther inland. So they're stuck on this geographic. There's some sort of weird summoning. Or, I don't know. But a handful of fiends um, will appear at full moon, very rarely, perhaps every 80 years or so. Countless numbers of great legions, um, greater fiends, an orgy of mindless slaughter and destruction. So usually it's just um, a handful of fiends show up there and have slugfest, and then every 80 years or so, it's a lot. Okay. Um, okay. So, stone fragments of the causeway have rarely been taken and enchanted by men of great evil to craft dark magical artifacts, surprisingly dangerous. Untiny slip in a process might take dozens of spells and months of time. Which might take dozens of spells and months of time, will leave the enchanter helpless in the face of gate opening and powerful fiend emerging, enraged to slay him. Oh, wow, okay. Cool, so if you screw up, you can take a tiny piece of stone to enchant it for evil magics, but if you do, you risk a gate opening and a powerful fiend killing you. Flanesh Iridian mages give riddles and illusions to the work of Urflane, mystics with this ghastly substance. Um, but such artifacts are lost to Orth, perhaps. Perhaps. In more modern times, only Delglath of Rinloru, is known to have crafted any items from the stone of this atrocious plague. So there's only one guy who's known to be able to do it, but there's others that are hinted at, rumors. Urflan is historical. Okay. Urflane, I should say, is the plural. That's the adjective form, the mystics. Okay. Let's see. Yes, and even Karulk, who's the right? Karulk's the powerful mage who is which one? There's some city that I'm blanking on right now. Roxas. Karulk is Roxas. Yeah, he's Zene. Oh yeah, and Zene was the powerful mage in Roxas that he killed to take the position. Okay, right. Across the causeway lies the Isle of Cursed Souls, which is avoided by all sea vessels. In a radius of roughly 10 miles, it is said that the very rocks of the seabed will rise and hold any vessel approaching more closely. Further, any lost at sea will become bound to the isle as ghosts, tormented by unknowable horrors for all eternity. Sailors will jump overboard into stormy seas with a um um no Brian uh prayer to Procan for their souls rather than enter these waters. Intelligent sea dwellers such as sea elves, selkie, or dolphins warn ships away from the area. Um, the isle itself appears to have only the ruins of an ancient monastery or mansion house atop its sheer cliffs, but distant scrying reveals intensity of evil and magic beneath that site, which is powerful enough to threaten insanity to diviner students studying the place. Their diviners studying the place in texts that are now no more than a rumor. In the night between old sages, the place is said to be the last resting place of three of the greatest Urflanae. Oh, so it is the noun form and the adjective form. If this is true, that perils below do not even bear thinking about. Okay. Isle of Lost Souls has a page, so we'll check that page out, see if there's anything here that isn't there we can add, and then put the Causeway of Lost Souls, and then just talk about if Isle of Lost Souls has a section on the causeway going to it, or which is the Causeway of Fiends. It makes sense that there would be. Let's look at the page and see what they put on it and didn't put. Yeah, let's look at that. Lost Souls. Okay. Okay. This is from. Okay. Let us see. Causeway of Fiends. Um. Um. Okay. So the story goes. Arity, powerful war mage. Okay, so that's all I have on the Fiends. Okay. Alright. Yes, probably a lot of quoted. I agree. It's basically an entire article just quoted. Which, they did put a quotation mark with a, they did cite it, so that's a good start, but yeah, it really is. Hidden Empress promised them to the forefront. Prophet and glorious sun would rise upon the shores of the day's dawning. That promise alone set the Ords questing across half Auric, and the trackless plains to the west to the utmost east. And out of their struggle, the son of Erdi rose to light the furnace with its wheel. Okay. Yeah, the Erdi was, so Erdi was promised. That's vaguely. The bloody fall of Great Kingdom, some of the wise have thought it to be a curious location for the promised land. Certainly it is fertile and well watered, and the climate temperate and summers long. However, it is fraught with hidden perils, places of almost palpable malignance that lurk hidden in cankers beneath the skin like an inviting fruit. See, that's cool prose, but it's not necessarily relevant to the Isle of Lost Souls. In fact, I would just take that part out entirely. If you're going to quote the article, just take that bit out, because it's not. It's interesting. Somewhere beneath HBL is called Run of Night, terrible one with evil. Glow Cliffs. The greatest nexus of evil in these lands is not hidden in the folds of Orth. Yeah, see, it just takes these lands and in I don't know the eastern part of the Fless, just say the eastern coast of the Fless. Honestly, not just half mile from this. Yes, well named. Great Kingdom of Northern Erde. Tail Isle is bound up. Okay, so necromancers. Okay, the very least, remove those first two paragraphs. Um, See, this is interesting. Um, Demons and devils stalk the country in half a mile of its leeward end, attacking everyone's century go towards. All right. None of them go to the isle itself. Okay. Stormlash seas, Flounder jagged shores. Okay. Read the crumbling text. All right. Hell isn't Dead City. Hang on. Oh, Undead. Yes, it did become a. Delglath. Oh, Delglath is also doesn't have a one. Um. Okay. So what I'm reading, I'll show you guys. Hang on. Is that's Renolo. Yes, it did become a city of the undead. All right, I misremembered that, but um. Okay, So, yes. Okay. Um, 20 leagues to the south of A tier. Yeah. Okay. Warships out of A tier headed to the War Strait for the Isle of Souls. Squadron's commander seeks. Okay. Um, Soon after his conversion, bore shards with stone does not bear imagining what parts of. Okay. Alright, so he was the only one who could do that after he was undead. And oh, only because he was undead, probably. I would imagine that probably helped. Um, so. Yes, okay, that raid and counter raid. Okay, so that's just Loru, which is not. Okay, so I'm gonna take. Um, um, okay, I think we're gonna take. Because it's actually interesting. Okay, so we're gonna go edit source. And I'm just gonna remove a chunk. Um, let's see, quoted text is the bottom piece, right? Um, okay, I see. So there's two here, and two here. Okay, quoted text. I see. All right. So then, lens verity. The Okay. Yep. So we're just gonna take out at least. Okay. Um. Um. Uh. Um. 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 Okay. Um. I'm gonna do this one. Um. Um. Verity. Yeah. Um. Okay. Yes. Yes. Um. I think that should work. Um. Okay. Greatly pared down the quote. Um. Let's see. Did that work? Yes. Haha. So, um, that cuts it down by half. Um, one. Hang on. Um, um. Okay. Yes. Um. Yeah. Um. Yes. Um. Great Kingdom. Okay. Yes. I think that's pretty solid. Um. Okay. No, in formatting. Formatting tweak. I got it. Okay. There we go. Um. Yeah. That is essentially. Um. Yeah. I pared it down to this much. Um. To go 5 paragraphs that were. Um. Um. Right, and then we can put the Causeway of Fiends. That's a start. I mean, it probably should be summarized as well, but okay. Um, um, okay. Um, um, yeah, I know. I can't change any. Well, that's why I put Arity in here because there is um there's a. I mean, I suppose I could change it back to these lands, but there's is a what's the word a writing convention that if you are bringing if you're changing something to refer to a previous referent, um, and you see it in newspaper quotes a lot of times. If they yeah, no, I know. If as soon as you start tweaking actual like stuff, you have to keep it. Um, that was just one small tweak, and I know, um, yeah, the brackets as previous referent but not quoted, um, which is why I did the thing. But yeah, as soon as you start tweaking it, you gotta it has to be the exact wording because otherwise. So if I do change any of this, I'd have to cut the quote at some point. Um, yes. Um, okay, so let's see. Um, um, Orgy of Destruction. Okay. Um, oh, okay, that's interesting. Um, All sane goodly folks avoided the place. Um, we could. I'm trying to see if um, yes, yeah. I mean, I could take out these two and then put a separate quoted paragraph for um, yeah. I could take out. I know, I am. But I just that is worth. I mean, I'm not too but yeah, at least shrink it down a little because it is um, entirely too much. That was entirely too much text, and this still is entirely too much description text. Um, so yeah, I'm gonna have to. I could break out a chunk in the middle and then strip it into two quotes maybe. That's for later. Now I will put a pin in that as yeah the pin. Put a pin in that. Okay, that is um. Meanwhile, let's go Causeway of Fiends, and then we'll yes, Causeway of Fiends. We are gonna put a Causeway of Fiends, and then that is what we're gonna do. Causeway of Fiends, and then we're gonna explain what it is geographic. Yeah, it is Causeway of Fiends being a geographical feature. Um, Instead of slam stones and ever underwater. But yeah, that definitely needs to be. That is put a pin on the list of things. I'm not just necessarily limiting myself to Ivid, but um, I'd be like, I've been popping into the monster manual to add stuff to it. Let's see. Causeway of Fiends. New article templates. Okay, let's see what we got. Astronomical, no. Archfiend. Mental. Article. Author. New article template. Character, creature, deity, holiday, no. Realm, road, settlement, source, playing organization. Uh, Location. I would say location is a good one. And then. Yeah. Location. Um, that's true. My page was Bilebrine. I was going to do Bilebrine and then whatever's happened next. And what happened next is Causeway of Fiends. Although I probably should um, put the stuff in the middle. We'll note that too, because there's other stuff in between. But we'll start with the Causeway of Fiends now. And yeah, the trade villages. Because yeah, there's barely a paragraph on those. I'm not sure. I can add much. But Causeway of Fiends. Okay, Causeway of Fiends. It's the Causeway of Fiends. So let's put here the Causeway. Or I spell Causeway right. Cause. Causeway of Fiends. Okay, then I will do Causeway of Fiends and leave it there as well. Causeway Fair, actually, of Fiends. Yep, Causeway of Fiends. Um, that actually makes sense. All right, Causeway of Fiends, spelled correctly. Description. Okay. Also add subcategory. I don't know what kind of subcategory this would be in, but is a okay. Um, naturally occurring. Um, yeah, naturally occurring, or at least not man-made. Um, um, from yeah, because it might have been made by ancient Urflan, nay, mages or something, but from what do we got? 25 from half a mile inland. Solar Ocean. Okay. Start there and then. It extends, yeah, that's how we do. Extends outward from out to the Solar Ocean and all the way. All right. All right. Then Gnome River region, Northern Airdie. Um. Um. If it does call it unnatural for what it's worth, yes. Um. But it unnatural, yes. But also, it wasn't man-made either. It was just kind of there. Um. Yeah. I think that should be. Yep. And then, okay, yeah. Size. Um. How long? Specify how long it is. Um. Um. Yes. Um. I could say unexplained. Um. Um. Not made by anyone in recorded history. Um. Oh, there we go. That's what we could do. Tell you what, I know exactly how we're gonna phrase this. Um. Okay. And unexplained. Um. Uh. Um. Yeah. Oh yeah, the Causeway of Giants. Uh. Very similar. Yes. So that actually makes a lot of sense. So what we'll do, there is an unexplained. Um. One that was not made by anyone. Um. In recorded history, but is very clearly unnatural. Uh. With a strong. Yeah, it's not made by anyone in recorded history. Um. Magical and evil aura. That can be detected. Okay, since from Half a Mile Inland out to the Solar Ocean, all the way out, all the way. Okay. That spells sonar. Uh, there we go. Okay, that's how you spell. Okay. Okay. Creative origins. And then let me see if I can find. Um, off the coast of Ireland. Okay. Right. Yes, we put that in the creative origin. Off the coast of Ireland, heavily inspired by. Yeah. Let's see. Yes. I lost Soul's description. The causeway was. Okay, people taking that, and then we can talk about the fiends. I think okay. The causeway was the causeway is comprised. Let's bring this down a little. There we go. Causeway is comprised of um slabs, perfectly regular slabs of um granite slabs. Perfectly ordered. Perfectly orderly formation. All right, so of how big are they? Ranging let's see, up to um 12 feet high. The largest being 25 feet wide and 12 feet high. Okay, yeah. Um, evenly arranged. Arranged. Um, okay. Evenly arranged. In a path. In a clear path. Yes, they lead. Leads. Okay, yeah. Evenly arranged. Um. Yeah. Never. Okay. Yes. So during the fullest of the moon, they have a handful of um uh Henry and that two who are going at each other. These two were going at each other, and then but during maybe years or so, there's a super mm, heavy one. Okay. All right. Let's see. Hey, we're gonna have an ad in a minute, so let's see. Um, the causeway is fully submerged, never submerged in water. Tides in the surrounding area, and yes, despite the fact that the and right, yeah. So it never, despite geography. Okay, history, geography. Okay, let me. In 1 minute or so, we're gonna have an ad. I'm gonna run for a bio break. We can let's just let's start with this and create a new paging. And we can put um yeah it's a good start to the page. What else? So we got history, geography, rumors, and legends. The question is, should we put the um uh rumors and legends the um uh okay, I'm gonna say that Delglath. Here's what we're gonna do in the history section. Um, Delglath. Um, the undead. Uh, had used stones from the. Yes, okay, we're gonna talk about how he made the stones, and yeah, what we're gonna do is talk about how he made those stones. That's what we're gonna do. The history section is gonna be he made the stones. Um, all right, yeah, I'm gonna run for bio break. There's gonna be an ad in like a second, and then when that comes back, I'll be back, and then we will finish that bit. Okay. Yes. Back. Boom. Sorry about that. Okay, I have returned. Um, bum. Not too much from what I gather. Okay. So, oh, it's already 2:54 though. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna finish this section, and then I'm gonna call the stream. We'll raid into someone cool, and yes, I did not realize it was getting so late. Okay. Um, um, yes. Surprisingly dangerous. Del Glath. From those craft items. Um, uh, has used stones from the causeway to craft. Though, there are of ancient accounts of um so, um um yes, of earth Was mage just the right word? Yes. Um, uh, go. Um, in living memory to have done so. Um, 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 uh, yes. Um, um, okay. Uh, um, uh, um, 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 would that be Hell or the Abyss? Hang on. Um, Mystics. Okay. Another makes such artifact. Yeah, the Earthland, the ancient, or you had a counts the Earthland mystics. Yeah, okay. So, portal. Which a fiend comes. Um, I don't know if that goes in history or yes, so the dangerous. What else? Let's see. Yes. Let's see. Um, yes. Yeah. Um, so, um, yes. Um, um, I'm gonna put that in the rumors and legends section. That the area. Okay. The. Um, and most sailors. Um, okay. Vivid. Sorry. Okay. Uh, yep. Okay. Um, uh, I'm gonna assume sea elves are elves or elf. Selkie. Okay. Some, try and away any ships approaching. You know what we're gonna do? Um, yes. Um, that. Okay, so okay, remember the curse. So yes. All right. Next week I'll get into the fiends and we'll figure out. Next step is figure out where to put the fact that the fiends are constantly fighting. I'm gonna put that in the description. And what we're gonna do because that's important. What we're gonna do is go. Um. Um. That's history. Um. Should be alright. I'll just lean in that you miss. All right. Yep. I'm gonna. We're gonna add more of that, but I don't know what section to put it in, so we're just gonna put it there for now. Um. Okay. So that's the Causeway of Fiends. We're gonna next week. We're gonna on Wednesday. We're gonna check on it and then do some other stuff. And then we'll keep going along to all of the other things on the list of locations, and maybe we'll talk about trade villages. Thank you all for coming. I appreciate you, and um, sooner or later we'll be able to do something. Yes, I'll be at Gary Con, and I'll be on stream tomorrow. Assuming nothing goes wrong with my travels, I'll be at stream tomorrow. It's gonna be awesome. I don't know what we're gonna do, but I'll be there. Thank you all. Let me close this. Wait. First, we're gonna raid. Let me raid. Also, take care of yourselves. Um, you know, take care of yourselves. Make sure you stay hydrated. Take any meds you need to take. All that jazz. Um, and I will see you all on the morrow. Um, let's raid. We're gonna raid somebody. Who we're gonna raid? You might ask. Well, let's see who's up. Okay. Um, oh, Elkintar's up. Um, doing some sort of SF Alpha 3. Alright, Street Fighter. Okay, some sort of Street Fighter game. Elkintar's cool and is a fun Greyhawk person. So let's get into our shenanigans. Off we go. Um,